Hello everyone, I'm Max Ritter, a historian specialized in the early and Middle Byzantine Empire. I come from central Germany, from the University of Mainz, where I'm currently research associate at the section of Byzantine Studies. Before I had been also a member of the section of Ancient History. I have been trained at the Freie University Berlin and the National University in Athens before I came to Mainz for my PhD. The dissertation was a comprehensive study on the economy of Byzantine pilgrimage, which I then turned to a book published in 2019. My domains of expertise are the political, cultural and economic history of late antiquity and the Middle Byzantine period. My main academic interests center not only around Constantinople, but also Byzantine Paphlagonia and Venetian Cyprus, as I work in both regions for many years. After I had been a fellow at the Boğaziçi University for 4 months in the last year, I'm now particularly honored to join the ANAMED community in a few weeks' time. After this introduction to my background, let me spend a few words on my previous postdoc project before elaborating on the new project as it connects to the previous. My first project was under the heading Procopius and the Language of Buildings. There I worked with late antique and Byzantine texts to prepare the historical component of the interdisciplinary commentary of Procopius's buildings together with Elodie Turcois and Marlena Whiting. The manuscript has been submitted and the book is to be published in early next year, inshallah. A particular focus in this book is on the built environment of Constantinople in the 6th century, as it was created by Justinian in its materiality and conceived by Procopius and other contemporary authors in textual representation. So in my work there was a constant reflection about materiality and the imaginaire, so how buildings as buildings and time and space were translated to meanings, and how they reflect political ideology and political aspirations. It is these elements which are also at the core of my second postdoc project I am now about to conduct at ANAMED, as I extend my research on Justinian's Constantinople to the subsequent period. I will be studying the building culture of emperors and the elite in this city in times of turmoil. So the project is entitled City of the Emperor and Christian Capital, Negotiating Church Building and Patronage in Constantinople. Let me break it down for you in a nutshell. In Constantinople, the agency of the emperors and the elite met in the field of church building. The project closes a gap in scholarship between the fields of church architecture and liturgical and topographical studies by investigating processes of negotiation between imperial and aristocratic agencies in the field of Christian patronage in the Byzantine capital. I assume that the church-building activities of the power elite were of great importance for the various districts of Constantinople, and they entailed negotiations between that elite and the emperor and the population at large. The core aim of the project is to reconstruct the evolving topography of imperial and elite church patronage based on Byzantine texts and material remains for the period from Justinian to Emperor Romanos I. This is supplemented by studies on designing practices of buildings by architectural sculpture and inscriptions, often accompanied with monograms of the given patron. The project will have an impact on scholarship dealing with the patronage by a ruler in Byzantium and beyond, and it is an ideal moment indeed for such a study, as recent years have seen good progress in the topological studies for Constantinople. So my aim is to work in the direction of a book which explores the building culture of the city in the period from the 6th to the 10th centuries. At the core of this topic are of course considerations of agency in space, but also how texts give meaning to buildings. What I hope to do is to transform our understanding of the social interaction in the spatial dimension with a focus on the center of the empire itself. It is obvious that the city was the model for all other cities and communities across the empire in the given period, And so my study has the potential to have an impact on spatial studies throughout the Byzantine world. This research will hopefully add an important piece in understanding the resourceful negotiations about urban space and what factors determined when and where a building was built, which type of building served what end, and how building activity translated to political power. Methodologically, the project will follow two strands. On the one hand, I work on the texts dealing with building activity of whatever sort, and on the other, I will study the materiality of the few buildings of the 6th to the 10th centuries that survive in modern Istanbul. And with that, I'm much looking forward to a productive academic year at ANAMED. Thanks for listening. See ya.